it seems like WWE has unofficially announced Randy Orton's new WrestleMania match, so we'll see what's up there. We'll also check out what's new for Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, and more. Starting things off with Randy Orton's new WrestleMania direction following the injury to Kevin Owens. Last week was full of speculation for who would step up to face Randy Orton. Fans were suggesting names from Uncle Howdy, Aleister Black, all the way to Nick Aldis himself. But the April 11th edition of SmackDown appeared to reveal exactly who will be stepping up to the plate to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Nick Aldis invited Randy Orton to the ring to talk about the RKO moment that happened the week prior. Nick said that he's doing his best to stay professional, while Randy tried to explain the attack was not anything personal at all. It was a moment of frustration, and he took it out on Nick Aldis. Randy also referenced the moment from 2023, where he did pay Nick in advance for the next future fine. So that was a nice callback there. For the first time since becoming general manager on WWE television, the idea of Nick Aldis lacing up his boots was officially teased and hinted at in this promo exchange. Randy suggested that maybe Nick steps into the ring to face him at WrestleMania. The idea of Nick wrestling in WWE has never been hinted at ever before, so fans are wondering if Nick Aldis could be getting back in the ring sometime down the line. But it's Solo Sikoa who comes down to the ring and says that no one wants to hear Randy Orton complaining. It was at this moment where fans put everything together. It looks like surely Solo Sikoa will be taking over Randy's new WrestleMania opponent. This was even once again reinforced later in the night during the main event, where Randy and Solo disappeared into the crowd while fighting with each other. Clearly something has ignited there between Randy and Solo, and it looks like Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa could be made officially literally the day before WrestleMania next week on SmackDown. And Solo Sikoa is a pretty perfect replacement for Randy Orton because they're both in the same spot. They both lost their WrestleMania match when you really think about it. Randy obviously lost his match recently with the injury to Kevin Owens, but you can argue that Solo Sikoa lost his WrestleMania 41 match way back in January. The alleged original plans for WrestleMania 41 was for Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa to take place at that big stage with the Ula Fala being on the line. That was the massive WrestleMania 41 match that was set in stone for Solo Sikoa, at least coming into the new year, but a shift allegedly took place when they saw the level of fan interest that was going on between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So because of the Punk, Roman, and Heyman dynamic picking up momentum, WWE decided to push the tribal combat match between Roman and Solo all the way up to January with the Netflix premiere. So they used that match for the premiere show. Roman moved on to the Punk and Rollins program, and Solo was left with no major storyline. Even Jacob Fatu got a WrestleMania match against LA Knight, while Solo Sikoa still had nothing. Not to mention that Solo Sikoa has quietly and patiently been waiting almost 3 years to make his official WrestleMania debut. He had a big role in the Night 2 main event of WrestleMania 39 and 40 by interfering with Cody versus Roman on both occasions. But ever since making his debut in 2022, Solo Sikoa has never walked down the WrestleMania ramp and entered the ring for an official WrestleMania match of his own. So he had a big outside interference role in back-to-back consecutive years at WrestleMania, but never his own match. So assuming that they do make Solo Sikoa versus Randy Orton official for WrestleMania, it's a very special and big moment for Solo Sikoa. For the first time in his young career, he'll be officially entering the WrestleMania ring, and it'll be for a match against a legend like Randy Orton. You can't really ask for a more picture-perfect first match at WrestleMania than that right there. Solo is a solid opponent for Randy Orton as well, because just last year, Solo Sikoa was pretty much the hottest heel in the company. He was generating these passionate reactions from fans, main eventing SummerSlam with Cody Rhodes, facing Roman at the Netflix premiere. So he might have had no program heading into WrestleMania before this, but Solo has been a pretty hot act over the last calendar year, no doubt about it. And fans were already starting to wonder how Solo is going to be left off the WrestleMania card after the career year he just had. Well, if this match becomes official, it solves that question and puts Solo Sikoa in his first ever WrestleMania match. It will also be Randy's first singles match at WrestleMania since 2021 when he faced The Fiend. So a lot of fans are intrigued to see what Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa turns into. The world was certainly watching to see how they followed up Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton's explosive interview segment from last week, and they delivered with multiple big moments. Before SmackDown even went on air, fan-recorded videos started to go around of a parking lot attack of Charlotte Flair ambushing Tiffany Stratton as Tiffany went to open her car trunk. Charlotte attacked Tiffany from behind and threw her into the car several times as other superstars and fans watched on. It was not a moment that was recorded with official WWE cameras. It was meant not to look a part of the WWE programming at all, even though it technically was. They wanted to give that little sense of realism that it was something that legitimately happened in the parking lot without WWE's knowledge, and how the only footage that exists of the event is all from fan-recorded footage. WWE did this exact same thing in the parking lot after the Bad Blood event with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. Kevin attacked Cody in the parking lot after the event with no official cameras around to give it a sense of being real, even though it was a part of the story. So, same thing was repeated here with the parking lot attack from Charlotte to Tiffany Stratton, and it's a great realistic direction for the story, no doubt about it. If Charlotte's character is superheated with what Tiffany said the week prior, in a realistic setting, Charlotte would probably pounce on Tiffany before they even got to the arena. So it's a nice little touch to the story that Charlotte was right there, literally waiting for Tiffany to show up to the arena to attack her. And then after the Tiffany's match against Roxanne Perez, Charlotte Flair came out for a second blindside attack of the night on Tiffany Stratton. So even though Charlotte had the physical advantage in both of these attacks towards Tiffany on April 11th, you can still argue that Tiffany has sort of gained the psychological advantage in this feud, because prior to the in-ring interview segment, Charlotte Flair was always dressing fancy, giving off this impression that nothing in the world could ever get under her skin, and kept her cool at all times. But a week after that interview segment, and now Charlotte is out here in street clothes, losing her mind, and trying to get her hands on Tiffany as much as she could. So you gotta wonder if Tiffany finally cracked Charlotte and has Charlotte in her own head right now, not really thinking straight. Because the April 11th edition of SmackDown featured a version of Charlotte Flair that did not appear to have much self-control really left. So if Tiffany got to Charlotte psychologically and mentally, you gotta assume that there will be openings during this WrestleMania match where maybe Charlotte slips up because she's not fully locked in, and it'll be up to Tiffany Stratton to take advantage of those moments and strike when she can. So we'll see who comes out on top of this feud with that championship in just a few days. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.